We are here because of the July 20th, 2021 CSIS memo that indicated that a Beijing diplomat accredited by this Liberal government was targeting a sitting member of Parliament, Michael Chong, by threatening to sanction his family in Hong Kong. This memo was sent to the Prime Minister's department, the PCO, and for 2 years, the Prime Minister did nothing. The government did nothing. The Prime Minister repeatedly claims that he first learned about this memo in the Globe and Mail. When did you learn about the memo?
Thank you, Madam Chair, for the question. As I said to Mr. Chong at the time of the CSIS briefing to him, I learned about it in the Globe and Mail. I had not previously seen the report, nor had the Prime Minister.
You learned about it in the Globe and Mail, and then suddenly, after it was reported in the Globe and Mail, two more MPs, Erin O'Toole and Jenny Kwan, have been briefed by CSIS that they too were targets of the Beijing regime. When did the Prime Minister first become aware that these MPs, including the former leader of the opposition, was targeted by Beijing?
The Prime Minister was not made aware of the targeting against Mr. Chong or Ms. Kwan before recent events and reporting. That has been done by CSIS. So CSIS has brought this forward to him in the last 2 to 3 weeks.
You said the Prime Minister wasn't aware in the case of Mr. Chong or Ms. Kwan. What about Mr. O'Toole?
Or Mr. O'Toole is my understanding.
And he would have learned about that, you're saying, since May 1st?
Yes.
And when did you become aware that Ms. Kwan and Mr. O'Toole were targeted?
In the last 3 to 4 weeks.
In the last 3 to 4 weeks, and how did you become aware of that?
Through a briefing from CSIS.
It seems to me inconceivable that we have at least three sitting members of Parliament that were targeted by Beijing, including by an accredited diplomat, and that you didn't know, and the Prime Minister didn't know, and only now, coincidentally, that it has been revealed in the Globe and Mail, is action being taken. How is that possible? How is that conceivable that neither the National Security Advisor, which is you, or any of the former National Security Advisors, or the Prime Minister were completely in the dark about this? It seems to me, Ms. Thomas, and I'll let you respond, but it seems to me that this is a breakdown of the machinery of government under this Prime Minister's watch. Would you at least agree with that?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Cooper, as I said previously, I wasn't here in 2021, and I cannot account for the lack of information flow to the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister's office, and I'm not going to speculate. I agree that there needs to be a better management of intelligence that is coming into deputy ministers' offices, into the NSIA office, in order to brief the Prime Minister and brief ministers. And we have taken steps to ensure that will happen. And not only to brief, but to provide advice on what should be done with the intelligence. Because reading the intelligence is one element of this problem. Giving advice on what to do about it is the second part of the problem, and we have strengthened both of those processes.
Ms. Thomas, through you, Madam Chair, you've said that the Prime Minister didn't know, and you didn't know. So that's not just a matter of what to do about it or how to act on it. You said he just didn't know. But except for the fact that what we do know is that in the case of Mr. Chong, the Minister of Public Safety was emailed about it by CSIS in May of 2021, but he didn't have the login information to his email after 18 months on the job. And then this memo was sent by CSIS not to anyone, but to the PCO and specifically the Prime Minister's National Security Advisor. So again, how is it that the Prime Minister didn't know? Why were those MPs kept in the dark? And in the face of all of that, would you not at least concede that that is a colossal breakdown of the machinery of government under this Prime Minister's watch?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I've said, I cannot account and I will not speculate about what went on in 2021. And I know you are seeing my predecessors and I know you're speaking to CSIS. I think that there was a breakdown in process and we've rectified not only a breakdown in process, I think insufficient process. And so we have rectified those problems.
I would submit it's more than a breakdown in process. It is a colossal failure on the part of this Prime Minister that we would have 3 MPs that have been targeted. How many more MPs have been targeted by the Beijing regime?
CSIS will speak to you about their holdings when they're here.
Are those MPs going to be briefed, or are we going to find out about it in the Globe and Mail and then we're going to be briefed?
I think it's very clear from the direction given by the Prime Minister and the ministerial directive from Minister Mendicino to CSIS and to the other intelligence agencies in his portfolio that the expectation is, yes, MPs will be briefed on the totality of the holdings against them, regardless of the depth, the severity, the reliability of those holdings. So members of Parliament who are in the holdings of CSIS will be getting very thorough briefs.
I hope you're enjoying this channel as much as I enjoy putting the material on here. This is not just about politics. I sing some of my favorite songs from the Great American Songbook. And you can also watch my latest show where we do some of the news you're not going to hear anywhere else. But please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. If you want to be part of this station, please be a subscriber. We want you.